It was a rainy night in Texas, the kind where thunder doesn't crash all at once. It rolls, long and deep, like it's crawling through the sky. I'd been driving for 6 straight hours, eyes heavy, rain slicing through my headlights. I remember thinking that I just needed somewhere, anywhere, to stop for the night. That's when I saw it, a faded neon sign glowing faintly through the storm. Motel, low rates. Half the letters were burned out. I pulled in without hesitation. The gravel lot was half flooded, puddles glimmering under flickering lights. There were only 6 rooms total, all connected under one sagging roof. An ancient soda machine stood near the office door, humming louder than the rain. Inside, the clerk didn't even look up when I came in. Just handed me a key, room 3, attached to a cracked plastic tag. His eyes looked glassy, tired, like he hadn't slept in days. When I tried to make small talk, he just said, "Lock the window. Rain blows in." Then went back to staring at his little black and white TV. Room 3 smelled like damp carpet and cigarettes. The wallpaper peeled in the corners. The single lamp flickered every few seconds. I didn't care. I just wanted sleep. I set my bag down, kicked off my boots, and sat on the bed. Outside, the rain hit the window in soft, steady waves. It was oddly calming, until I heard another sound. A slow, distinct tapping on the glass. I froze. It wasn't random like rain. 3 slow taps, then silence. I turned toward the window. The curtain swayed slightly, like someone had brushed it from the outside. My throat went dry. I walked closer, heart pounding. When I pulled the curtain just a little to peek, lightning flashed, and for half a second I saw her. A woman, standing in the rain, her hand pressed flat against the glass. Her hair was dripping wet, covering most of her face. She didn't move, didn't blink, just stared straight at me through the storm. I stumbled back, my hand hitting the wall. The light flickered again, and when it steadied, she was gone. No one there, just rain. My chest was pounding so hard I could feel it in my ears. I told myself I was seeing things. Exhaustion, rain, flickering light. It messes with you. I locked the window latch tight, turned off the lamp, and tried to lie down. Maybe 5 minutes later. 3 slow, heavy knocks. This time, on the door. I sat up fast, staring at it. "Who's there?" I called out. No answer, just rain again. Then, softly. From the window this time. Every muscle in my body locked up. The knocks moved between the door and window, like something was circling the room, testing every way in. I grabbed my phone flashlight and slowly walked closer. My heart felt like it was trying to break out of my chest. The moment I reached for the curtain, the tapping stopped. Complete silence, not even rain. Then, out of nowhere, screech. A long, dragging sound against the window pane, like nails scraping the glass. I backed away, staring at the curtain, whispering to myself, "Don't look, don't look." But I did. I pulled it open and saw nothing. Empty parking lot. Just rain and my reflection in the glass. I exhaled, trying to calm down, sat back on the bed. My reflection still stared at me. But then it smiled. I blinked, heart stopping cold. My reflection's mouth moved. Mine didn't. That's when the heater shut off with a click and I heard breathing. Right behind me. Slow, wet, heavy breathing. I turned, shining my flashlight, and the window was wide open. Rain blowing in, muddy footprints on the floor, leading from the window to the side of my bed. I couldn't breathe. Then a whisper, right beside my ear. "You left the light on for me." I bolted. Didn't grab my bag, didn't grab my keys. Just ran barefoot through the rain to my truck. When I looked back, the motel was completely dark, except room 3, its light still flickering. And in that glowing window, I swear I saw a figure standing there, watching me drive away. It was sometime around midnight when I spotted him. The rain was coming down hard, and the wipers could barely keep up. I'd been on the road for hours, heading from Dallas to Amarillo. Nothing but open highway and scattered truck stops. That's when I saw him. A man walking along the shoulder, soaked to the bone, one hand raised like he'd been trying to wave someone down for miles. Normally, I'd keep driving. You hear enough stories, you learn not to stop. But something about this guy, I don't know. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe I just didn't want that face burned into my mind all night. I slowed down, rolled the window halfway. He stepped closer, rain dripping from his hood, face half hidden in shadow. Need a ride? I asked. He just nodded once, didn't say a word. He got in, closed the door gently, and stared straight ahead. I figured he was cold, maybe in shock. You all right, man? I asked. Nothing. Where are you headed? Finally, he spoke. His voice was calm, too calm. Just north. You can drop me anywhere. That should have been the first red flag, anywhere, but I shrugged it off and kept driving. For a few minutes, the only sounds were the rain, the hum of the tires, and his slow breathing. Every time lightning flashed, I could see his hands, pale, muddy, resting perfectly still on his knees, too still. When I offered him a towel from the glove box, he didn't move, didn't even look at me. Then he asked, softly, "You drive this road often?" "Sometimes," I said. "Why?" He smiled faintly. "Strange things happen out here." That sentence hung in the air for a long time. The storm outside seemed to quiet down just enough for me to hear the creak of the passenger seat leather every time he shifted. I glanced at the clock, 12:47 a.m. The sign up ahead read, "Next gas 27 miles." I tried to change the subject. "So what happened? Car breakdown?" He didn't answer right away. Then, without turning, he said, "I was in a car, yes, but I wasn't the one driving." Something in his tone made me grip the steering wheel tighter. I wanted to ask more, but something in me said don't. Then he turned his head toward the window, slow, almost mechanical, and said, "I used to sit where you are." I frowned. "What do you mean?" He didn't answer, just stared at the reflection in the glass. Lightning flashed again, and in that split second, his reflection in the window wasn't his. It looked burned, blackened. But when I looked back at him, his face was perfectly normal. My mouth went dry. I told myself it was just the light. Just exhaustion. A few minutes later, the man said, "You can let me out here." We were in the middle of nowhere. No houses, no lights, just fields and wet asphalt stretching for miles. "You sure?" I asked. "There's nothing around." He smiled again, this time wider. "I know." He opened the door before I even stopped completely, then turned to me and said, "Thanks for the ride." I remember nodding awkwardly, reaching for the door lock. But before I could say anything else, he added, "You should keep your headlights on this time." Then he stepped out and disappeared into the rain. I sat there for a moment, confused. Headlights on this time? I hadn't turned them off. Then I glanced at the dashboard and froze. My headlights switch was off, but the road in front of me was still glowing bright white, like something was shining light back at me. I turned around to look through the rear window and saw a car parked behind me, half crushed, steam rising from its hood, no headlights, no driver. And in the driver's seat, the same man smiling. The rain started pounding again as I floored the gas and tore down the highway. In my rearview mirror, the car stayed where it was, but the headlights never faded. They stayed in the distance, glowing, until I couldn't tell if they were following me or if they'd never been there at all. It was almost 2 in the morning when I decided to pull over. I'd been driving for close to 6 hours, cutting through endless miles of Texas highway. The rain had stopped, but the fog hung low, that kind that swallows the world outside your headlights. When I saw the rest stop ahead 1 mile sign, I figured I'd stretch my legs, grab some coffee, maybe splash water on my face before the last hour home. The parking lot was nearly empty, just one pickup on the far end, engine off, no lights. I pulled into a spot near the vending machines, left the engine running for heat, and reached for my phone. No signal. Typical middle of nowhere Texas. The fluorescent lights above the restroom flickered, buzzing like dying insects. I got out, locked the doors, and jogged through the damp air toward the building. Inside was colder than outside, empty, echoing. The smell of bleach and rust. As I washed my hands, I heard something. A faint click, like a door gently opening. I looked around. Nothing. When I stepped back out, the lot looked the same. My car sat exactly where I'd left it, headlights still cutting through the fog, but the pickup at the far end, that one was gone. I shrugged it off, got back in, and drove off. Half an hour later, the caffeine wasn't helping. I turned the radio down and noticed the little red light on my dash cam blinking. Recording. I hadn't remembered turning it on. When I finally got home, I grabbed a drink, sat down, and decided to check the footage, more out of boredom than concern. The dash cam starts rolling as I park at the rest stop. Everything looks normal. My headlights, the vending machine glow. Then I see myself get out and walk toward the restroom. The car sits empty for maybe 30 seconds, and then movement. From the right side of the frame, the backseat door handle lifts. It opens, slow, quiet, and a shape slips inside. Someone. You can't see their face, just the dark outline of a person wearing a hood. They slide into the back seat, crouch low, and stay perfectly still. I could feel my throat tighten watching it. On the footage, I come back a few minutes later, completely unaware. I open the driver's door, sit down, start the car, and the person in the back doesn't move. They just sit there, head tilted slightly toward me. The next 20 minutes of video are pure silence. Just me driving, and behind me, that shape. No motion, no sound. But at one point around the 10-minute mark, I swear you can see their reflection in the window, smiling. The last part of the video is where it gets bad. At one point, I pull into my neighborhood. I'm slowing down near my house, headlights hitting my garage door. You can see me reach for my phone, probably changing songs or something. And that's when the shape moves. They lean forward. You can see their hand reach toward me, slowly, like they're about to touch my shoulder. And then the screen cuts to black. No crash. No sound. Just black. When I checked the actual memory card the next morning, that last clip, the one I'd watched the night before, was gone. Completely deleted, like it had never existed. The police said there was no sign of forced entry, no prints, nothing missing. They said maybe I dreamed it, maybe the camera glitched. But I know what I saw. And the part that still keeps me up? Sometimes, when I start my car at night, that same dashcam light starts blinking on its own, even when the camera isn't plugged in.